In the Customize module of our training course, we've covered a lot of ground so far. We've looked at how we can expand the dataset using custom definitions, that's adding custom dimensions and metrics to the dataset. We've also looked at customizing the detail reports and the overview reports to make them a bit more useful for your organization and for the events that you're collecting. What we're going to look at now is the final piece of this puzzle, which is looking at how we can customize the reports menu. That's changing what we see when we log into the reports workspace. Before we start, let's revisit some definitions. Firstly, on the left-hand side, our reports workspace is categorized into collections. Those are those big collapsible menus. By default, you should see the lifecycle and user. Within each of these collections, we've got submenus, and these are what we call topics. So if I open up the user collection, we can see that we've got our demographics and our tech topics. And within there, we have our types of reports. And we know by now that there's two types. We've got our overview reports. That's the ones with the collections of cards. And then we've got our detail reports. And that's the ones with the big data table down the bottom. You might have wondered why some reports that exist just aren't in the left-hand menu. For example, you might have connected Google Ads or Search Console, but you're not seeing any reports there. Check out a deep dive video on exactly this, where I go through how we can access some of these secret reports and how we can move them into the reports library. And now if we have admin access to GA4, we should see this icon called Library at the bottom of this menu. The library is where we do our editing of this reports menu. This is where we can go in and we can customize the collections, the topics, and the reports themselves. So going through, you should be taken to a screen that looks just like this. So starting at the top, we'll see our list of collections. And these are the collections that you should be able to see in the left-hand menu already. Underneath, we see our list of reports. And these are all the reports that we have within Google Analytics 4. And in the previous videos, we talked about when you edit an existing overview or detail report, you have the option of clicking Save and overwriting the report, or clicking Save As and creating a copy of the report. If you went down that route of creating a copy, this is where your reports will be saved, and this is where you can access them. This way, it just saves us having to create one from scratch, which we can do by using this button here, where we can create an overview or detail report. Whatever way we've gone about it, all of the reports that are available will be in this list. Going back up to the collections now, we can go in and we can edit these collections. So let's go in and edit the lifecycle collection, for example. In this edit screen, we can see that we've got two sections. On the left-hand side, we've got our topics and reports. And on the right-hand side, we've got a list of all of the reports that are available in GA4. And the way that this works is that we can drag reports, overview and detail reports from the right-hand side, and we can drag them into the menu on the left-hand side. And on the left-hand side, this is where we can customize the collection itself. So for example, I can just remove entire topics and their associated reports by clicking the X. One thing to bear in mind at this point is we're not deleting reports here, we're just removing them from the navigation. So we're not permanently deleting any reports. Everything we do here can be undone. As well as deleting topics and reports from this navigation, I can actually add in new sections, so I can add my own custom topic into this collection. I can click this button here and I can give the topic a name, click Save, and then I can drag my reports from the right-hand menu into this topic. When I'm happy, I can click Save, and then I have the option again, just like in reports, to save and overwrite, or to create a new collection entirely. Let's just overwrite and then exit the edit screen and see what that looks like. And now you can see it's immediately updated the reports menu on the left-hand side. A different way of approaching this would be to create a collection from scratch. So if I go through and click Add New Collection, it takes us into this screen here. And this is a really important screen because if you want to reset your lifecycle, user, or any other collection you've got back to the original or back to the vanilla version, this is how you would do it. You just click on the user, lifecycle, or whichever other collection you want, and that will add back in the defaults back into the left-hand menu. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click Add New, and I'm going to build one from scratch. And so here, the first thing I do is I give this collection a name. The interesting thing here is that we can add things like emojis as well as text into these names. Once I've given the topic a name, I can then start dragging reports from the right-hand side. And these can be existing reports, so I can have the same report appear multiple times in the interface, or it can be a new report, either a copy of an existing one or a brand new one I've created from scratch. Once I'm happy with all the topics and reports that I've created in this collection, I can click Save. And then I back out of this screen, but now what you'll probably notice is that it's not available in the left-hand side straight away. And that's because we have to go through one more step, and that is publishing the collection. So using those three dots on that collection, I click Publish, and now you can see it in the left-hand menu. Now I'm going to hand over to Dara. Dara's got a couple of applications that I think might be useful for you.
The Reports menu in GA4 is highly customizable. This lets you do some basic things like, for example, if you're not tracking revenue, you can go in and remove the monetization section entirely, so you simply don't have to see it when you're navigating through the menu. The real power, though, comes from combining this with filters, so you can create different report sections for different users of your data. Examples of this might be if you're collecting iOS, Android, and web data, you could create different report sections for each. Or you could do it by team if you're an international business and you have different regional teams, or even different marketing teams or teams looking after different marketing channels. There isn't really a right or wrong with this. It comes down to what you need and what's going to allow you to access the data that you want in the quickest and easiest way using GA4. The quicker you can access that data, the quicker you can start making good decisions with it.
Great, thanks, Dara. So as you can see, plenty of different use cases, but creating different subsets of your data is going to come in really handy. One last thing to mention here, again, this is affecting it for everyone using Google Analytics 4 for this property. This is not a personal view situation. This is creating changes to the property, so anyone logging into GA4 property will be able to see the changes we're making here. That's not a bad thing because it's a thing that you can roll out updates and changes for everyone at the same time, but it's something to bear in mind that you might see something different to the last time you logged in because someone else might have made a change. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed and I hope you found it valuable. I'll catch you in the next one.